Okay, very excited to get into this beer today. This is from Southern Tier Brewing Company. We haven't done a beer out of Southern Tier yet. This is their Imperial Choklat Stout. Chocolate spelled Choklat. They wanted to be different. Comes in at a very healthy 10% alcohol by volume. It's classified as an American double stout, and that it is, brewed with Belgian chocolate. So it's really top-notch chocolate. Now, Southern Tier Brewing Company, as I mentioned, first time we're doing a beer out of Lakewood, New York, which is on the southwest portion of New York, right along the border of Pennsylvania. An up-and-coming brewery. They started somewhat recently, 2002, as a matter of fact, is when it started operation. 50,000 barrels produced annually now, so they kind of went from a really small operation to just a major operation now. Two founders rather. You had Phineas DeMink and Alan Skip Jan. They founded Southern Tier Brewing Company back in 2002. So it grew the company, and this is one of their more acclaimed beers. Of course, the American Double Stout, derivative of the Russian Imperial Stout. Some people call it, actually many people call it an American Imperial Stout. I tend to kind of give the Imperial thing to the Russians because, you know, the same thing with IPAs, double IPAs, Imperial IPAs. I leave the Imperial part to the Russians because they basically were trying to impress their Tsar with high-proof beers, and that was kind of their thing with the Russian Imperial Stout. So I'm going to call this a double stout. I'm going to be one of those guys. A normal range 7 to 12%, so this falls right in that middle range of 10%. As I mentioned, it's brewed with chocolate, fermented with ale, yeast, 2 varieties of hop, 4 types of malt, and the chocolate they use is a very bittersweet Belgian chocolate. And there is a story here on the back, if you will let me indulge. It is chocolate after all. It says, this is part of their Blackwater series. I believe they do another beer that it's escaping me. Something very flavorful as well and dessert-like. The Popol Vuh, the sacred book of the Maya, unfolds a complex web of mystery around a beverage known as Chocotl. As at Southern Tier, we're not surprised that hieroglyphics of the ancient Maya depict chocolate being poured for rulers and gods. Even though the many voyages, or even through the many voyages of Columbus, the bean remained nothing more than a strange currency of the native peoples until becoming popularized by Louis XIV. Moving through centuries, the circular journey of cacao has been realized in our brewing house, encompassing the complexity of the darkest bittersweet candy, together with the original frothy cold beverage of the Maya, to bring you our Blackwater Series Chocolate Stout. We've combined the finest ingredients to tempt your senses and renew the power and interrelation of history in every bottle. So there you go. Kettle hops are Chinook and Willamette. It says chocolate malt is bittersweet Belgian, as I mentioned before. They also use the 2-row barley, caramel 60 malt, and barley flakes, which is a little bit different than the little synopsis I just read. So we're going to pour it into a chalice. By the way, here is the label art. Almost looks like Ghirardelli chocolate. And we'll pour it into our chalice. And we'll see that dark chocolate pour, that very dark motor oily kind of a color, almost like a stout. Not quite too pitch black, but it is getting a very chocolatey head on it, as you can see. Almost a little brown, khaki, maybe a caramel color, I guess, with a light film that's kind of dissipating and giving way to the body of the beer up at top. And we'll get the aroma now of Blackwater Series from Southern Tier Brewing Company, Imperial Chocolate Stout. Wow. I'll tell you what, just a decadent chocolate smell. I am getting a little bit of the malt. Very milk chocolatey. Very rare do beers in the aroma category. A lot of the stouts kind of fall short on the actual authentic milk chocolate smell, almost tasting a bit of a little dark or just something maybe cocoa powder kind of ish. This one just smells like the real deal. It just smells like decadent chocolate. I'm not getting any booziness smell. Maybe a tinge of an alcohol kind of aroma to it. not really boozy in any sense of the word, but a little tinge of the alcohol, but definitely that just milk chocolate. So I'm really, really excited to be tasting this, so I'll give it a shot right now. Mm. Mm. Nailed it. This is right on the head, a chocolate stout. This is one of those beers where you'll tell a beer lover usually with other beers that, hey, this is a chocolate stout, and they'll taste it and they're like, this is not chocolate to me. This beer is something that's going to satisfy chocolate lovers. It is really a decadent beer. It's just really chocolatey. Almost like a gourmet chocolatey alcoholic milkshake, in a way, I guess you could call it. It is just so decadent, really good. And a little bit of a roasted quality on the very, very back of the throat that you get with a lot of stouts. Just that kind of, I guess, alcohol kind of balance there. Because it is 10% ABV, but you really, oh my gosh, you really don't taste any of this 10%. I mean, I love Brooklyn Black Chocolate Stout, which is a very good Russian Imperial Stout. But even with that, I can kind of taste the 10%. This is just, if you'd have told me this was 4%, I would totally believe you. But this is a 10% ABV beer we're talking about here. So Southern Tier absolutely just spot on with this beer. This is with a beer they got to take and just run with it, I think. So I'm going to give a Southern Tier Imperial Chocolate Stout from their Blackwater series. I'll give it a 10 out of 10.